All right. Welcome to the Gnostic Deluge.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. It's been like a few months, I think. Right? It's been a few months.
It has.
I believe it has.
It's been. Was it last year?
It was in 2019.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. You sure?
No, I'm not sure about anything, but I'm never sure about anything. But I believe that it's been a few months. So, yeah, as Mark said,
I guess it is
welcome.
February.
Welcome to the Gnostic Deluge.
Yeah. Okay, so we are back into, or actually, we're going back with the, because we still have two ones that we haven't published, but with the Hermetica. So we're going on to the next three books of the Hermetica.
Yep. These ones are common. These three texts that we're going over. There's different names given to them by the different translators. But the first one is referred to as, it's to Tat, and it's concerning God being invisible and visible.
Yeah.
Or visible and invisible.
Uh-huh.
The second one, which I don't believe we have much to say on, but we'll talk about it, is the good, that God is the only good. So this Copenhaver's
Oh,
title
yeah,
is,
we need to, yeah.
He entitled it that the good is in God alone and in nowhere else.
Yeah, and then the last one is the greatest evil in mankind is ignorance concerning God.
Yeah,
And that one's cool. And
Yeah.
it's short. So anyway,
these are all short.
We just did three, and then, okay, we're going with another translation.
So just to remind you, we were using George Scott, right? George Stowe. GSR Mead. George, whatever his full name is.
Mead's translation.
Mead's translation.
Which was good.
Yeah, and it was from the late 1800s, early 1900s was when he published it. He had two different versions. And then we've decided in the last few months, we've picked up this newer translation by Brian P. Copenhaver.
Yep.
And it's really good.
Yeah, and they just, because these were really expensive before, but finally they started republishing them.
Okay.
Because you'd have to pay
that.
like $100 or some dollars for paperback.
I wasn't aware of that. So
Yeah,
we got a good deal.
And so they on Amazon they just republished them, and so I mean it's still for expensive.
Yeah,
it was like $40.
It was $40.
Yeah, so but it's totally worth it. Like I was just looking on the best translation of the Hermetica, and somebody said this one.
Yeah,
and then I listened to it on audio on a YouTube thing that somebody had recorded them reading it.
Was
and I was like,
cool.
Like, oh man, this is really, it's a lot clearer. It's not kind of in that antiquated language.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I liked about it is that the way that, because one of the situations that we have here with these these texts in the Corpus Hermeticum at least, is that you have this dialogue usually between two different people.
Yeah.
And the way that the translator breaks it up sometimes is that in itself is sometimes confusing. And he kind of like just throws them all together. He's Copenhaver's good at making sure you know who's speaking.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop everything and said, and Tat said, right?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh,
so
okay. We'll see if I'm actually accurate.
I don't know.
And then, but then like you're referring to the language, because this was published. He published this in 1993. 93, you said.
Yeah. So this is very recent, which is very cool.
It's a lot more approachable. More approachable. If you want to have a good version of the Corpus Hermeticum to
go
read
with
through,
this.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not as cheap as some of the others. You can get, but man, it's really got good notes.
Yep, the notes are fantastic.
A good introduction, because there's so much. Because I don't want to, but the Mead one was 1912, right? And there's been so much that's been discovered since then.
Yeah, it's entirely
that has changed the whole idea of where the Hermetica came from and stuff. Because, Anyway,
that's right.
I mean, just quick ideas of one of the things in the that he said in the introduction was that the first recorded phrase name Hermes Trismegistus. Isn't that how we're saying? Gosh dang it, Megistus was recorded by Hor and on the 1st of June 172 BCE. So that's the first recorded of the reference of that name.
Yeah.
So it goes. I mean, and that was in Egypt.
I think, and I have another one. I'll bring it next episode. I have another reference that's pretty early, and that might be earlier. What was it? What BC?
172.
Yeah, it's pretty early right there.
And then, one of the things too, because I remember when I first asked you, well, how is Thoth and Hermes linked?
Yeah.
And Enoch too.
Yeah.
And you were kind of, but I mean this.
He does a good job of explaining that.
Yeah. Well, he just says that the Greeks and Romans found corresponding Hellenic matches for Egyptian deities.
Yeah.
So basically, Thoth was Hermes, pretty much same as Hermes.
Yeah.
I'm Hotep, the same as Asclepius.
Okay.
And then Zeus, Amun Ra. Yeah. So so that's why because I'm like, why would you? I mean, so anyway, that was kind of a good clarifying thing obviously people can speculate that they all came from the same original religion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's common. If you read any kind of what is it, Graham Hancock or whatever, or if you read any kind of religion and read another one, you'll be like, wait, this is the same story.
Yeah, it is, and
so
those that will dismiss it are just kind of like protecting their image.
Well,
the cedar tree painting, they're kind of protecting that.
That's a whole reference to something Brandon was explaining to me, and we're.
I like how you rolled. I like how you almost rolled your eyes when I said cedar tree.
Well, no, I'm just like, okay, Brandon, you explain that to me. We're not going to take this episode and explain it.
We'll do it in a smorgasbord or something.
Yeah, but so anyway, so we're getting into the Hermetica, which, more into it, and there's some really good books. Like I'm excited about these ones because they make some good points.
So last time, which was a few months ago, and I'm not going to go over it, but the text that I liked the most from last time was the cup or the monad or the whatever, the crater, or there's so many different ways that these translators, but the cup or the monad. And this one there's two particular texts that we're going to go over today that I thought were on parallel to that, on like how I don't know if inspiring is the right word, but enlightening they are. And
I think they make. I think that the point they're trying to make, they make. If you want to believe what they're saying, they really lay it out well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, let's go into. So we're in the Copenhagen one. It's the fifth.
Yeah, it's
the fifth book, and I think it's the fifth in Medes too. So, I think.
Yeah, I didn't check, but it probably is. I think they're pretty consistent. They're pretty on. I think that most translators are on the same track there on which texts are on the numbering of the texts.
Okay, so this is a discourse of Hermes to Tat, his son, that God is invisible and entirely visible.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool.
You're like, well,
title.
Yeah, but you're kind of like, well, why would you? Who cares?
Oh, I forgot to bring my Tao Te Ching today. Okay.
Oh, I got one right there. Oh no, it's the Art of War.
Almost the same thing. Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu, right?
That's right. Dang it.
I think I have it quoted. I think I have it.
Oh, you have it somewhere?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I don't know how you want to insert this. Oh. Right at the very beginning, Hermes says to his son, little tat.
Little tat.
He says, I'm giving you this discourse lest you go uninitiated in the mysteries of the God who is greater than any name. So this is part of the initiation, I guess.
Yeah, to know or to be aware of.
What?
To be aware, like, hey.
Is that what initiation? Are you saying that's what initiation
I think part of the initiation is just to be aware of
what
he's going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying, but he is, lest you go uninitiated. So I'm saying a lot of people, like, some of the things are common knowledge, but then some of the things are taught, like this teacher to student thing. You teach them certain things to initiate them and to acquaint them with the deeper knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Totally. That's what I'm trying to get at.
And the book before this was the Cup or the Monad, and the whole basis, the core in that one, in my opinion, was they were talking about this baptism, but it was more of a baptism of like wisdom, it was more of a mental baptism, immersing yourself in this wisdom.
Yeah. Or as far as I mean, it could have been an actual rite.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
you can take that and spend hours on that one, but at the very least, it was this like immersion of wisdom that is required. Because the question before that was laid out, especially in the Poimandres, was, well, doesn't everybody get mind? Like, so all men get reason, but doesn't everybody get mind too? And then he even asked, why doesn't everybody get mind?
Yeah.
And so I think this goes into like what needs to happen. These are like the answers to that question, though. So if you want those who want to have mind, this is what they need to do. And the Cup of the Monad, you need to immerse yourself in the wisdom.
Yeah, and just to clarify or whatever, or the reason is, what's the difference between mind and reason?
So reason in the Poimandres, reason what was given to there's the lower intelligences.
Yeah, mind is excelled by reason.
And then there's the higher intelligences, and they're given reason.
Yeah.
And reason is exactly what we define it as today.
Okay.
Just kind of the ability to kind of like logically put things together and to think and to make your decisions, right? Not on using the animal mind. But using like a higher level human mind. But then mind is on top of that. And that was the whole question that Hermes had to this guide or angel, whoever was giving him his vision in Poimandres, was, so why doesn't everybody get mind? And I think at one point the angel even like, or whoever it was, God or whoever, the mind, the shepherd, was actually kind of like rebuked him, like, are you not listening to me?
Yeah.
But it's, and so then the next several texts,
mind is the higher thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, mind is the thing that frees you. That's reason is just being able to live in the world, and
that's a good explanation.
Yeah, mind is a higher thing.
Mind is more of a liberation from the bonds, and like there was this quote from I think it was from the Poimandres, like, unless you hate your body first, you'll never unless you learn until you learn to hate your body, you'll never move forward.
Yeah,
I'm terribly summarizing it, but so I think this is to sum it up, end it here. This is kind of like Hermes going, okay, so now that I've confused you about like what you need to do, here are some things. And he talked about it in the Cup of the Monad, and here's also some details too. And I thought, and we both, disclaimer, me and Mark both enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, where do we even start? Like, gosh, I have so many notes.
So I mean, I'll read a tiny bit. You make a comment if you have any. If we don't, then we failed.
I got lots of comments.
We failed. So he says.
So the point is that he wants to prove that God is invisible and visible.
When he's like, hey, so Tat, like, you're gonna see that everybody, no one can see God, right? But over time, it's gonna become entirely visible to you.
Yeah. Right? And
it was never invisible. It's just that you couldn't see him. Everything seen has been begotten because at some point it came to be seen. But the invisible always is, and because it always is, it does not need to come to be seen.
Well,
oh, that's confusing.
One of the things that he puts in the footnotes is that in another translation they use the word, instead of invisible and visible, they use the word apparent and unapparent.
Really?
Instead of, because invisible, to me, whenever they said that, I was like, oh, that makes more sense. Like, some things are just apparent. You just see, you're just like, that's a desk, whatever. But the unapparent things, like, is what goes into the desk, or the atoms that are holding it up, the things that you're not yet seeing.
Correct. Yeah, totally. Okay.
So I'm saying, there's things that are just apparent, and then there's the deeper things. So it's not necessarily like God's like this invisible being.
You're right.
Like the Space Ghost or something, or he's didn't he have a thing? Anyway, like, he's not this space ghost, but it's that he's not apparent unless you're looking for him.
Totally. That's the key right there. And just to piggyback on what you're referring to as different translation, Walter Scott actually uses the word manifest.
Oh, so yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if you grasp it, which seems to many to be hidden, will become most manifest to you. For all that is manifest hath been brought into being, for it had been manifested.
Okay, so manifest apparent. Yeah. As I'm saying, sometimes if, like, I think that really changed, because I was like, for some reason, invisibility to me, like, seems like a ridiculous concept.
With our Comic-Con culture, invisible mean, with our fiction that we have today, invisible means something different to us. Invisible is like a superpower.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's why it kind of, whenever they changed it, it was like, oh, that makes more sense. By
the way, we didn't do like we're drinking this good old like dependable Goslings today.
Yep. See, I wrote, what seems invisible to a crowd will be visible to you. And then, oh gosh, invisible. Let's see. In verse 2, because he's trying to make a point here. My note says God. He kind of starts laying out what God is. He's invisible, unbegotten, unimagined, is seen through or in, presenting images of all things. Anyway, I don't know what exactly.
You don't know?
So
listen to this. You then, Tat, my child, pray first to the Lord the Father, the only who is not one, but from one the one comes. Ask him the grace to enable you to understand so great a God, to permit even one ray of his to illuminate your thinking. Only understanding, because it too is invisible. See the invisible, and if you have the strength, Tat, your mind's eye will see it. For the Lord, who is ungrudging, is seen through the entire cosmos. Can you see understanding and hold it in your hands? ?
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I that's actually one of my favorite things, is that
yeah.
Like, you can
you
can't hold understanding in your hands. It's invisible.
Exactly.
That was one of the things that really hit it.
That's when the whole analogy to invisible and invisible or manifest and unmanifest kind of clicks for me, is when he gives us an example.
Thanks, Brandon. Yeah,
it's like, hey, can you hold wisdom, or can you hold knowledge,
understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going. That's cool. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Can
part.
You have a vision of the image of God? ? If what is in you is also invisible to you, how will God reveal his inner self to you through the eyes?
So he wait, that line, last. Okay.
Mark's on it. You see him? Mark, zoom in on Mark. He's on it.
Says, what is in you, if your own understanding is invisible,
yeah,
you can't see it, you can't hold it in your hand. What's in you? So don't make this ridiculous argument.
Yeah.
That I was just making about the invisible. Your even understanding is invisible. You can't hold it. You can't. So guess what? So is God.
Yeah.
I don't know why that works.
It's one. It's the easy math. Just
what is in you is also invisible to you. How will God reveal his inner self to you? Through the eyes. Don't look with you can't find him with your eyes.
The way that you can find him through your eyes is in verse 3.
And this is where I really like the point that he's making, because this goes to kind of that remember The Age of Reason that we were talking about a while ago, the book by what's his name, Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
Where basically to know God, you look to it's all around you. You look at nature. That's how you find God, and that's the point that Hermes makes. So he's saying, okay, well, let's just go on with it.
Yeah. He says that better than we can probably say it. You want me to try and see what he says? If in verse 3,
well, we can
in Copenhagen's translation. If you want to see God, consider the sun, consider the circuit of the moon, consider the order of the stars. Who keeps this order? For every order is bounded in number and in place. The sun, the greatest god in those in heaven, to whom all heavenly gods submit, as to a king and ruler, this sun is so very great, larger than earth and sea, allows stars smaller than him to circle above him.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we can paraphrase the rest of it.
Yeah,
so it's like, hey, look at the cosmos. Look at that.
Yeah, what I wrote is, consider the sun, the circuit of the moon, the order of the stars. Who keeps that order? Like, consider the mechanics.
Yeah.
Like how, like all this stuff. It's a very precise system.
Think about the Flammarion engraving that we have that we looked at before, right?
Yeah.
Do you have it available?
Yeah.
The Flammarion engraving.
Okay, but if you're listening,
Mark's like, hey. So if you're listening, the Flammarion engraving is this like cool picture we found.
Yeah.
And basically it's showing like this picture of like Hermes or a shepherd, and he's like peeking through this this boundary.
Flat earthers will love this.
Yeah, flat earthers. This is all about flat earthers. Yeah, he's peeking through this spherical boundary, and on the other side he sees these like gears and wheels and these mechanical workings, and
he's peeking through the what is that called?
The harmony.
The harmony.
That was a translation that Mead gave it, but I don't know if but yeah, he's like peeking through and he's like seeing these things.
How it's working. But I think he makes a good point. I mean, I know it, especially that whenever you look at that picture, it's kind of like a little, like these old gears and stuff, like you're like, okay, but this makes a good point. Like, okay, you want to see God, look at how the cosmos is moving and working, and then he even goes
reference Ursa Minor in the next verse.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the Brand's gonna like this.
Yeah.
He's like, who owns this instrument, this bear, the one that turns around itself and carries the whole cosmos with it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is from the point of view from Earth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're seeing, we're seeing it rotate, but the cosmos is moving.
Yeah, and the common knowledge, at least back then, thousands of years ago, was like they go, hey, everything up there moves in this perfect cyclical order, and there's like the axis right there, right? The bear's in the middle. It's always in the middle.
Yeah.
So who owns that instrument? Like who's the one making this happen?
Yeah. Why cool. is it that it can? Yeah, that we can depend on it, and it's going to do certain things. That, I mean, who sets limits to the sea? Now he's talking about the earth. Who settled the earth in place? And then he says, there is someone, Tat, who is the maker and master of all. Without someone to make them, neither place nor number nor measure could have been maintained. everything that is in order has been made. So his obviously his argument is things just don't, if especially things in order, there's the it just doesn't just happen that way.
Sure.
And I mean, obviously if you're an evolutionary person or whatever.
One of the things that I think about in this imagery is, I don't really have this situation myself, but I know of others that have had this, is when somebody, let me give you this like little, if sometimes we are curious to know people, like let's say like a grandfather or grandmother, we're curious to know them or to know about a little bit more about who they are, but we don't have a chance because they're passed on, right? Okay. They're dead, yeah. They're passed on. And so what people do, what I've noticed, is they will they'll highly venerate and respect. Let's say your grandfather crafted this rocking chair. That will become something that the family puts a lot of emphasis on, as in value, right? It'll be like a family heirloom.
Yeah.
And the thing is the people, if upon inspecting that rocking chair and spending time sitting in it and kind of observing the craftsmanship of that rocking chair, sometimes people can kind of feel like they're getting to know grandfather a little more, because they kind of like I wonder why he made this etching here, or what was this reasoning for doing this kind of
grandpa
joint.
Messed up here.
Yeah, or this is where grandpa messed up,
Mm-hmm.
But and so sometimes we look at the things on the outside of us, and for myself at least, and I like this is more of an Eastern perspective too, of just watching the world around us, watching a stream and how consistent it is, but yet chaotic it is at the same time, and kind of just spending time. And I think we can kind of get to know. And so I think, in my opinion, Hermes is like, hey, Tat, you can see God. You can see the unnameable or the invisible if you kind of observe his craftsmanship.
Yeah, well, it's saying in the apparent things,
he's everywhere.
Because the apparent things are working in a system and working, the inapparent is manifest. You can see God in the apparent things if you look. If you're like, wait a second, why is it that whenever this happens, or that, then all of a sudden you can start seeing the thing that is in the background.
Sure. Yeah. It's about focusing and wanting. I think he even uses the word, when you want to see it, you will, right? And then in verse 5, there's some poetic.
I like this.
Mark likes it. He's gonna quote. He's gonna read.
Oh well, I put the Flight of Icarus.
Oh yeah.
We should have that Iron Maiden song here.
Oh, that'd been perfect.
Fly. Anyway, but he has this. So he's talking about how awesome the cosmos is and everything, and the earth, and then he's like, would that you could grow wings and fly up into the air, fly like an eagle. No, he didn't say that. But fly up into the air, lifted between earth and heaven, to see the solid earth, the fluid sea, the streaming rivers, the pliant air, the piercing fire, the coursing stars.
Yeah.
And heaven speeding on its axis about the same points. Oh, this would be the most happy sight to see, my child, to have the vision of all these in a single instant. Imagine that. First off, you're getting wings, but then you're flying up and seeing all this stuff, and to see the motionless set in motion and the invisible made visible through the things that it makes. This is the order of the cosmos, and this is a cool quote.
Yeah,
this is the order of the cosmos, and this is the cosmos of order.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, I love it.
That's a cool that phrase. This is the order of the cosmos, and this is the cosmos of order.
Yeah.
So, Imagine though being able to do that, you know, be able to see cosmos. Like whenever we talk about Enoch and stuff, and he's taken up into heaven, and seeing, you know, all how everything works, or any kind of apocalyptic text. That's one of the things that happens a lot, like Isaiah or whatever, where he's up in heaven and seeing how things work.
Well, I'm reading one of Graham Hancock's books right now, and I really liked, or I'm actually listening to it, but I like America Before.
Okay.
I haven't got to it yet. And so one of the things I really liked about it is he was referencing on the Serpent Mound, and how like they were using these primitive, or not primitive, but these indigenous people from before, and there's an argument to when they come from, but they built this Serpent Mound, and I like this wording he used, is to experience the macrocosm through the microcosm. Remember that?
I don't.
It's like, oh, that was brilliant, Graham Hancock. He's referring to like how they were like building this, because if they can't change the stars and the rotation of the stars, and they can't alter anything, but they can take those things they see up in the sky.
Oh, and put them down here.
Kind of like a micro version of the cosmos,
like the pyramids and stuff.
Exactly.
You know, I guess it's kind of that hermetic thing, as above, so below.
Exactly.
You're kind of
showing. I love that terminology that he gives. And Graham Hancock, I know you're probably listening to this or watching this, so yeah, I love that line of experiencing the macrocosm through the microcosm.
Well, that was that thing that you've said where you, through the monad, you can
understand the archangel.
Monad being an atom.
Yeah, sure.
Or the smallest
point.
The smallest thing that makes up things, you can understand everything.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's the same.
That's the recipe.
Along the visible and invisible, or the apparent and the inapparent. If you can understand the smallest thing, I mean, imagine, but this is like opening up this vision to be able to see the big thing. Imagine going up into space and seeing, how it works.
What would be better, going up into space, or just flying, growing some wings and just
wings?
Yeah.
Like would that you could grow wings and fly up into the air.
I like how there's been a few different times now where we've seen in this Hermetic text and this philosophy, this description of God really just thinking that loving humankind and having humans so beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. Like falling in love, in one case, even falling in love with the human.
Hey, it must have been.
So he kind of goes on that a little bit in the sixth verse. Basically.
Well.
Oh, you have something you want to say? Because I was just going to bust through it, but...
I was going to say, so you're going... He's talking about the cosmos.
He's going through these layers.
He's going to the cosmos, and then he's going... Kind of talked about Earth.
Earthmos.
The big...
The Earthmos.
Earth. Like these creations. But now he's going into human kind.
He's going from layer... Like, here's the macro... Cosm.
To make his point.
Here's a lesser macrocosm. Here's another cosm. And
then he's like, well, hey Tat, look. I mean,
your freaking hand.
Look at yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like,
look how beautiful you are.
This. Yeah. Serious.
It is. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And learn who it is that crafts this beautiful godlike image of mankind.
Yes.
I love that.
So he's consider the human being, how the human being is crafted in the womb. So he's like, just take the simple act of procreation and a little baby growing in mommy's tummy.
And we'll get to another text later that actually goes into that a little bit.
I mean, he's like, examine the skill of the craft work carefully. Just think about all that is going into it, and then what do you think about the shape of the heart? That was interesting. I was like, wait, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so he starts going into, just take a few examples. Do you want to read those questions? Because
We're starting from where? Who
Who
traced the line round the eyes? Who pierced the holes of nostrils and ears? Who opened up the mouth? Who stretched out the sinews and tied them down? I think the loins and the sinews. I'm like, geez, all these wording, right?
Yeah.
Who made the channels for the veins? Who hardened the bones? Who drew skin over the flesh? Who parted the fingers? Who flattened the bottoms of the feet? Who cut passages for the pores? Who stretched out the spleen? Who made the heart in the form of a pyramid? Who joined the ribs together? Who flattened the liver? Who hollowed out the lungs? And who made the belly spacious?
Yeah, so it's just like take these basic things. Like, I mean, you see, okay, imagine the little fetus. He's all curled up, with that big guy. Old,
cute little.
Yeah, you got that big head, and then all of a sudden, his little eyes start forming. The lines in the eyes and the fingers. Like, I mean, the craftsmanship in that is like just crazy, and then I'm just saying what's the woman doing? It's growing in her, but she's not sitting there, like, oh, I'm going to do this.
Good point.
But I'm saying
you're taking away from motherhood, Mark.
They're not doing anything, man. No, but I'm saying while they are giving, having to carry the baby. There's all this stuff going on that is beyond their control. My wife said that it's almost like an alien takes over for a little bit.
Yeah,
you have an alien form, or not an alien, but a life living in you. Yeah. But it's there's this mechanics that suddenly starts going into it. The eyes are made, the fingers, the heart, the lungs, little lungs, and I just think that the way that he just brings it down to that super basic level. Just look at yourself, man.
Oh, and one more line. I forgot what this line is interesting. Okay, the last line.
Oh,
who set the most honored parts in relief to make them visible, but hid the shameful parts away?
So put the skin.
Like, it's so perfect,
Yeah, you don't have your outsides on the ins, or your insides on the outside. You're not like this. I mean, it's covered up with flesh, so it looks nice. But what were you saying? Okay, the heart of.
I thought that was a cool imagery right there. I thought that was a neat imagery. Who fashioned the heart in the shape of a pyramid? It's kind of
like. Is it a pyramid shape?
I don't.
When
I look at a picture of a heart, I don't think pyramid.
No, neither do I.
But I think that the imagery is pretty cyclical, like maybe artistic. Like the writer is kind of like using kind of like a form of poetry. I think it's more of like a poetic, right? Like, man, here we are, like the reference to a pyramid, and we're not even talking about pyramids here.
Well, okay, so. Okay,
and the pyramid are seen as like this holy, kind of like this very mysterious, but reverenced. In fact, the structure, and to use that poetic kind of like cyclical, and the heart shaped as a pyramid.
Okay.
It's like, hey, clever way to throw the word pyramid in there.
Yeah. Like, dude, are you stretching a little bit there? But or. If it's talking about the form of a pyramid, maybe the pyramids had a greater function than just being some big burial tomb.
That is the key to this whole thing right here.
I don't know. No, so I don't know.
Who knows? But at the
very
least,
have you ever listened to that? There's this thing on Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the underground rivers and stuff, and anyway, I don't know. But there's all kinds of speculation about that.
Pyramid lore out there.
But anyway, I mean, even without that. I mean, I'm just saying, just think of all the mechanics, the craftsmanship, and everything that it takes just to create one human being.
Yeah, and after all of that, you're gonna say that you can't see God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like it's
almost a rebuke.
It's manifest the visible manifests the invisible. Now it makes sense. Yeah, it's like if you really, if instead of taking advantage of just, oh well, this is just the way it is. If you're thinking about the things you see and really contemplating, because I think I'm always saying contemplating.
Anyway. Are you slipping an M in there?
Yeah, contemplating. Anyway,
I didn't notice, Mark.
Well, I have whenever I've listened to these. Okay. But so, I mean, the things are right in front of your face, basically. That's where it kind of like he makes such a good case that you're like, okay, maybe there is a little more to it than
exactly. And from what I took from this book, that's pretty much like the main. That's the main point of this whole entire of number 5 here.
Yeah,
is like, hey, God's right there in front of you.
Yeah, without even going crazy and without getting into like some super mysterious. I don't know if metaphysics. I don't even know if I know what that term totally means, but without using some woo woo blah blah. Sure. He's just like, hey, look around you.
And that puts a different perspective on something. Sometimes people, when they're trying to like describe their version of God, they kind of explain as like God's everywhere, and that's not something that's a lot of people can't like take that. Like,
yeah, you're just like what does that even mean?
Yeah, no, this is a good explanation true. To like.
It's like what? Wait, he's everywhere. He's all. What does that mean? And Austin. Here's what it means.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm talking about.
This is more approachable for me. If I'm going to be saying that God's everywhere, like I don't think that the in my interpretation, Hermes isn't saying, yeah, God is literally everything that you see is God. I mean, because he does say that in another place, but they don't.
I know, but whenever you look at it in this term, it makes more sense.
It's just like, hey.
Well, that's why you want to. Yeah. People, you know what? That's one of the problems with those. What are they called? Where they're just common usage, cliche.
Sure, I think
cliches where it's like, well, it's just common. It becomes common thing, and without explaining it. And this, I think he just makes such a good point. Yeah. See, so okay, let's move on to. For that one, the wonder of the craftsmanship of human life.
Yeah, good summary there.
Craftsmanship. I mean, such craftsmanship. I mean, dude, he didn't even talk about these biceps I have here.
Yeah, he didn't even mention that.
Or the craftsmanship to make a nose this big and to have it not collapse on itself.
Oh, come on, Mark.
I always talk to my wife about that. I'm like, that was some substantial, like, anyway.
He did mention me. He mentioned the, he said, what do you say? Oh, who made the belly so spacious?
The belly so... There it is. The belly so spacious. Yeah. So anyway, and so let's go on to 7. What I have
7? Written... 7?
Verse 7.
Geez, I'm way past that.
What do you mean? We were just reading there.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm on 7.
Yeah, I just wrote how much work went into everything. How is it possible to be just random is my summary of it.
Yeah.
So let me, I'll read what I have highlighted. See how many skills have been applied to the same single material. How many labors within the compass of a single work. All of them exquisite things. All finely measured. Yet, all different. Who made them all? He's like, think about that how much work has gone into one thing. Yeah. I mean, like we just went through with a human. Like, that's one human being. Think about all the thought it took, or all the work it took, and you're just gonna say,
yeah,
you just have.
It's just so normal. It's just so normal.
Yeah.
So just mundane to us.
So it says, what sort of mother or what sort of father, if not the invisible God, who crafted them all by his own will.
And then in 8,
this is where it's cool. Yeah, go for it.
In 8, he basically says, like, hey, how often have you seen a sculpture that...
Yeah, read it.
Okay, yeah. You want me to paraphrase it?
No, I like the way he wrote it. It's actually pretty clear.
No one claims that a statue or a picture, like one of the cypress trees...
Yeah, Brandon's...
Or a picture has been produced unless there is a sculptor or a painter. Has this craft work been produced without a craftsman, then? Oh, how full of blindness, and how full of irreverence, and how full of ignorance, Tat, my child, never deprive the craftworks of their craftsmen. Or rather, he is stronger even. And then I don't know what that means.
So great is the Father of all.
So great is the Father of all.
Yeah, I think a lot of times you can skip those.
I would refer to like a little bracket that I wasn't sure if I should read that part or not.
Yeah, I think that's added.
So great is the Father of all. Surely it is He who alone who works it to be a father. Whose work it is to be a father. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And I like that.
Okay, statues don't make themselves.
And like I like
paintings don't paint themselves.
Like never deprive a craftsman of his... Never deprive the craft works of their craftsmen. That's pretty cool.
Kraftwerk, dude. Yeah. The band he's talking about.
The what?
Kraftwerk.
The band?
Have you ever heard?
No, I haven't heard. We should play that next time. No, but I
early electronic band.
Were they?
From the 70s. They were like the first. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I'll try them out.
Yeah, it's with the K. Kraftwerk.
Oh yeah, okay. But
they're German.
That's a good. That I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
Almost like a little rebuke. Like don't take away the craft.
Yeah. Don't say somebody else made this. Yeah. He's like, okay, I made my point, but guess what? I'm gonna push it a little more. It's kind of like
gonna make it burn.
There's that saying, and I get, and it can be true, and I'm not, but they were like, well, you can give Monkey a typewriter, and if for billions of years he'll write Shakespeare, or at one point, if he's just hitting keys, eventually he'll produce a Shakespearean play, like random. That's the thing about randomness. Is just eventually there's odds are that somehow he's going to do that, I guess. But
sure.
But if you believe that, that's fine. But he's saying here, hey, you know better, Tat.
You know better, Tat.
Tat, come on.
Tat. I'm not gonna say it right now. Okay.
Okay. Is this about the painting?
Yeah. No. So let's see. We're done with that.
Okay. Well, okay. So now he's like, okay, this is.
Oh yeah. If we mention the more daring part, he's
like, I'm gonna go even further.
You think I've already burnt? Yeah.
Like, you think I've proved this? No. If you force me to say something still more daring, it is, and it's talking about God. It is His essence, and God's essence, to be pregnant with all things and to make them. I mean, he says, as it is impossible for anything to be produced without a maker, so also it is impossible for this maker to exist always unless he is always making everything. He's just saying that is just God's nature.
That's what he does.
He's just a maker.
He's just making things.
He's a tinkerer.
Yeah, that's the term often sometimes uses the architect, right? He's just always creating.
Yeah. And actually, I found something, and I think they might talk about it in the footnotes. Actually, I have it on my phone. There's the first big god in Egypt.
The first big god?
Let me get his name. He was the god of the Nile. He was the first one that was worshipped before Osiris.
Okay.
Or
I'm interested in this.
But this is his name is Khnum.
Oh, I was gonna Khnum.
Let's just call him Khnum.
I don't know this one.
Okay, so I'm saying, but what he's talking about, this craftsmanship and stuff, is actually something that goes back, And this is part of the things where they're like, actually, this does go back to Egyptian stuff, but this is a hymn to Khnum, if I'm even saying it right. But to Khnum, who sits at the potter's wheel, I offer my praise, O ancient self-created one who ruled at Elephantine. That's what that was his place. River master, high of plumes, yours is the stone within the earth. Okay, let's get to the builder, a friend of the crafter, the builder, the miner. Yours is the work of the artisan, O granter of resources. Wait, where am I getting to?
It's beautiful, though.
With your blessings of body and breath, our worth and our substance are within us, unique and innate. O shaper of humanity who molds us, one by one, from clay, each fashioned with art and with care, water bearer, father of fathers, you of the rippling horn, for our lives and our existence, we thank you. So anyway, I thought it was the last part I wanted to get to, not the.
I'm gonna start reciting that at the dinner table.
Shaper of humanity, who molds us one by one. Anyway, but it's going with that.
Yeah.
And but okay, the interesting thing and about this, he molds them with clay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm just kind of like, okay, in the Bible, how does God mold?
Yeah, clay.
He uses clay to make man.
Yeah.
Of the earth. And I'm like, oh wait, this is the first big god, in the old Egypt.
Man, there's a lot of coincidence there in how similar those are.
Yeah. It's just like, oh well, that was okay. Not leftover, but that was something that they both believed. Let's just say they both believed.
Yeah.
We don't even have to say this person took this or that.
Sure, no one stole anything.
They just.
Yeah.
It's you can still find that same belief in the writings of Genesis or whatever.
Yeah. Tons of creation stories have that very similar creator, concept.
Yeah, but
for our thumbnail for this video or in this episode, we should do like that William Blake painting with a god who's like more of like an architect building.
Okay.
Side note.
I don't know if I know that one.
Call us out somewhere in some comments somewhere that if we don't do that.
Yeah, actually, I haven't even. We need to post our other ones on YouTube.
Man. Don't even wait.
Anyway, so we're kind of anyway, that was an aside to talk about this craftsman, but he was a potter.
Yeah.
A Harry Potter.
Oh, get it?
No, but I'm saying the clay thing, that he was a potter, and so it came anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally knew what you meant.
But then I put in the Harry part. Is that where J.K. Rowling got her inspiration?
Yeah, reading.
Anyway, so now he goes into. I think the point's been made, man.
It has.
Do you want to? I mean, because 10's like, God is greater than any name, God invisible and entirely visible. He's summing up bodiless, many bodies. He's all bodied. Nothing he is not. Okay. Anyway, we can. But I like the end. He does a hymn.
Yes, that's right. It's right.
And this, he's like, I want to sing a hymn.
Yeah.
But I like the way he kind of says, but how am I going to do this? For what shall I sing the hymn? Read that from, if you want.
I don't want to, Mark. From where?
You're like, no thanks.
I don't want
From what shall I?
Yeah, so for what shall I sing the hymn? For what you have made or what you have not made?
No. Yeah. Keep
Yeah. And for what you have not made, for what you have made visible or what you have kept hidden. And wherefore shall I sing the hymn to you? for being something that is part of me, or has a special property, or is it something apart? For you are whatever I am, you are whatever I make, and you are whatever I say. You are everything, and there is nothing else that what is not, you are as well.
Okay.
You are all that has come to be. You are what has kept, and you are what has not come to be. You are the mind who understands, the Father who makes his craft work, the God who acts, the God who makes all things.
Yeah, he's like, what am I going to even sing about? Because do I want to sing about the things you make? Or do I want to sing about the things that you didn't make? Or that you were smart enough not to make?
I don't like how you
like dragons.
Mark, I don't like how you forced me to read that. I felt kind of like you forced me to read that last part.
What last part?
That was a horrible joke. That was good.
I just like that. Like,
can I be honest? As I think I kind of like just brushed past that last part. I was like, I understand, and I just.
That's why I said, Brandon, read that. No, but I just like, what do I even sing about? Because, I mean, there's so much to it, and then there's things that weren't done, but I can sing to those things too.
Yeah, what can you possibly do?
Like,
just
what? Yeah,
just watch
what
the
you
stream.
made, not made, what's visible, what's kept hidden, what's part of me, or what's not part of me.
And I'm gonna.
I sing praises to it all.
I'm gonna insert something here that I'm gonna take the liberty here of saying.
Brandon, don't quit daring.
I'm gonna.
Are you going daring? Wait, what did you say?
I'm gonna take the liberty
Something
here.
still more daring.
I'm gonna take the liberty here of going one step further.
Oh, great!
Is that what he's doing?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were winding up to say something crazy.
I have enough daring in me to go one step further.
You're going to take it further than him?
What kind of hymn can I possibly sing? You know, like what can words actually really do here? You know, words can't do anything.
And that's what yeah.
Yeah, words can't do anything here. It's like, just like, take care of this microcosmos and macrocosmos that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just take care of it. Respect it.
Yeah, respect it all.
Be a craftsman yourself and follow and build things and continue the craft. Right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest respect. Forget words of a hymn. The biggest respect is just is action.
Yeah.
That's the higher level right there. Forget words. Less words. Like that poem. Remember that poem I wrote that one time? Yeah. Less words, more action.
Was that the seven gods?
Oh yeah. Is that the one I read on here?
Yeah, but I don't think that said anything.
No, the right before the end, the God said, "Hey, basically in paraphrase, shush, you're saying too much. You should say less words."
Oh, say less, do more. Yep.
That was profound. Right? That wasn't that profound.
You know what? But that's actually, that is profound, because now you're saying that God isn't manifesting himself through words. You know, he's doing it through, he's manifest through the actions or the things he's done.
Yeah.
Brandon,
it's deep.
Dude, you took it to the level.
I took it up. Hermes kind of went 4 or 5 layers deep. I went one layer deeper there.
Like, whoa. I doubled to get double dog daring.
I double dog dare you.
Brandon, take that, Hermes. You've been outdone by one of your apprentices.
Should we do 6 right now? Or should we do 6 in the next one?
What time are we at?
58. Should we ask our listeners?
Yeah, but they never respond. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what we have for 6. God is God alone.
I'm just gonna give you a clue, Mark. I don't have anything for 6.
Oh.
Other than what the title.
I wrote down a bunch of stuff.
I can give you a paraphrase. I can give you my biggest paraphrase, but if you have content, let's go for it.
Here, well, the next one is God is God alone. And this
God
one
is good alone.
God is good. Yeah, I put God is God alone. Oh, good is in God alone. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just put the good is okay. No, yeah, I don't know about this one. I think the main thing. I mean, yeah. I don't know about this one. This one doesn't have much to it. Just understand that God.
All good is from God.
Yeah. God lacks for nothing, so
he longs for.
He doesn't long for anything.
That's the best part of the whole thing. Probably
nothing can be lost to him. So guess what? He's not going to grieve for his loss.
Yeah.
Nothing is stronger, so there's no adversary. Nothing more beautiful, so there's no cause for desire from him. Nothing is unheeding, so no cause for anger.
Yeah.
Everything obeys his will. Nothing is wiser, so there's no cause for jealousy. That's basically like God's, there's no why would he's above all those things.
Yeah.
This one's not quite as strong of a case as I felt that he made in the other one.
Yeah, in the Frecky and Gandhi version, they actually pay some good respect to this concept.
Oh dang!
Yeah,
we should look into that a little.
But it's basically you just said it right now. Like,
okay.
Hey, he lacks for nothing. So
yeah.
He doesn't long for anything either.
I think one of the things that actually I did mark in here was in verse 3, and this is again in the 6th one, that the good is in God alone and nowhere else. Okay, where he's like with reference to humanity. One uses the term good in comparison to evil, right? So we're using the term good only in comparison to the term evil.
Yeah.
With humanity. It's so here below, the evil that is not excessive is the good, right? And the good is the least amount of evil here below. So good, we don't even have like an entire concept of good.
No, we kind of everything is good.
We're like, well, it's not horrible.
I had this discussion with my wife just last night.
Well, then,
basically, like name someone who think about someone right now that you name 5 people that are not a good guy, and you can't say Hitler in that list.
Dang it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dang it. Everybody gets like, oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. You know,
I'd have a beer
because to a certain point, everybody is like. I mean, and we look at we do good. I mean, what is good, right?
Yeah. Well,
everybody's good.
He's a nice guy. Okay. Yeah. I don't like talking to whatever, but he's fine. He's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the basic idea is that down here, our idea of good is kind of warped, because basically good is the lack of evil.
Yeah.
Or not.
If they're not Hitler, they're good.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not always true. Sometimes people people make them evil even if they're not. But
sure. That's a little extreme, but yeah.
And this one's to Asclepius, by the way, one of his other initiates, Hermes. But okay, let me read. Only the name of the good exists among mankind, never the fact. So you can say somebody's good. You can say, what? That's the thing. Take the good though. Who's a good guy? I mean, we don't have to name names. Think of somebody that you think that was a good guy, but guess what? There's always dirt.
Yeah, sure.
And there's always dirt. I mean, you can think of the best guy, and there's always something. And
like you have tons of dirt on me, Mark, right?
Brandon's the only pure one. There's no dirt, except for he loves Mountain Dew. But
that's not a bad thing.
Like, what's wrong with that? Well, Brandon.
By the dews on the mountain, What's that scripture?
You're like, it's in the scriptures. But okay, this is the worst of all. Oh, there's the worst of all here below.
All right, here's the worst of all.
They believe in each of the things that I have just mentioned as the greatest good, when actually it is insufferable evil. So, okay, down here below,
it's insufferable evil.
Okay, down here below.
Ooh, that's deep.
Like, this was an interesting thing. Okay, so humanity's term good is used in comparison to evil, but even people think vice, sufferings, pains, longings, angry feelings, delusions, mindless opinions.
That's the best right there. Mindless opinions. I hate mindless opinions.
That's what I know, and we all have them. I have so many mindless opinions. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, wait, why do I think that? Why do I believe even like politically or something?
Don't be so hard on yourself, Mark.
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying.
But I'm saying
we're fools.
But people are taking their mindless opinions and they're acting like that is the good. Oh well. Oh, this is the political person you like? No, this is the political person I like, and I'm right.
Well, everybody and their dog has like some special way they think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're starting to be really. Mark, should we cut this off? Are we starting to become like too critical here?
No.
I love human beings. I love people. I love people.
Hey, we're just quoting. No, we're quoting.
This is not us.
Hermes.
This is Hermes. This is not us.
This is on him. But I'm saying. But think about it. People think to suffer is great. Is good. Their suffering makes them good. People think that their pains make them good or righteous.
Like martyrize.
People think their longings.
He's been suffering.
Their
so
angry,
long.
their angry feelings are making them good. Like
the passion.
Passion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their delusions, their mindless opinion, like we just talked about. They're actually to be believed to be the greatest good on earth, and we can see that if you look into society around.
Yeah, totally.
You're like, wait, no, we think good is good, but whenever you take this, you're like, actually,
a sheep.
Yeah, not sheep.
All those sheep.
All us sheep, not those, Brandon. Let's not get at. We're not separated from that, and that's the problem. Because I'm, like I said, those mindless opinions. I have so many, it's ridiculous.
Oh, you need.
So, okay.
Be a little more fair to yourself. Mark.
Well, no, but I'm saying you're raised up.
I'm playing the devil's advocate. Come on. You
know what? You're right, Brandon. These are good things.
So, okay, I thought of something I gotta say, but I'll say it after we're done.
No, okay. It says, and then we'll kind of sum at the end. If you can understand God, you will understand the beautiful and the good, the exceedingly bright, whose brightness God surpasses. Okay. Here's something. I got the
Goslings.
The Goslings birds and the Dr. Peppers now.
Ooh,
I got the peppers.
That's a brutal mixture there.
Only one road travels from here to the beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Guess what that is? This is cool too, and it probably has some kind. Okay, so this is the road that travels from here to the beautiful. Reverence combined with knowledge.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna
a humble heart.
That's the thing is like if you were to ask that question. So this is the Corpus Hermeticum, right?
Yeah.
If you were to say that line, and this was coming from like more of a. If this was coming from like a Greek standpoint, then the answer would be philosophy, right? Like what's the road?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm reasoning. Yeah,
yeah,
I've reasoned through it.
Yeah,
but
I like
this reverence or this humbleness with philosophy or with knowledge, with gnosis, Gnostic deluge. Oh my gosh,
it's all those circles coming.
Flood of knowledge.
360 right there.
I've been listening to a lot of conspiracy things, and they're so ridiculous whenever they're...
Oh, I can't wait to hear about some of these.
No, they're...
Oh, really?
Well, no, I'm just saying some people are so ridiculous. We were talking about that earlier. But I'm saying, so one road travels from here to the beautiful or to, the good. Reverence combined with knowledge. So you can't be... Anyway, that's interesting.
Reverence mingled with knowledge.
Mingled with scripture. Okay, and then that is a cool phrase, but mankind has been overrun by every evil, and he believes that evil is good. So just keep that in mind.
That's biblical, right? Then like that's one of the prophecies from like I think like Isaiah gave this one, and you can find this theme on and off.
Well, where's it? They're called good evil,
and evil good.
Or is it the Daughters of Zion kind of
all
thing?
It's all over the place.
Yeah, where they're perverting. All these things are being perverted and turned, and
it's all over the place
from their natural whatever. Yeah, it's all over. Yeah, it's very.
I think I might
biblical.
have accidentally kicked the camera. Sorry if that bumped.
God.
So
that takes me back to our first episode.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that one
right at the beginning.
So one of the things I just wanted to say, and it's one of my biggest appreciations for what this is so far, is there was just this this dialogue to Asclepius. This text was just talking about good, right? Mm-hmm. And good and evil.
Yeah.
And there was no reference to
Beelzebub
or Azazel or Satan.
Mm-hmm.
There was no scapegoat. It's just like, hey. And that's what I really appreciated from these. I'm gonna sneeze. Hopefully, the fact that I said it means I won't. But
Brandon,
okay, so that's what I really appreciated. It's done. I said it.
That was it.
No, I didn't sneeze. My mind overpowered it.
Whoa, dude!
I really appreciate that. This whole time I've been like, you know what? There was no reference to any kind of scapegoat. There was no blame. We're not. One of the most disenchanting things from the Western culture, religious perspective that I've gotten so far that really burns me. This burns me, right? Can I mention this real quick? This burns me. It's how everybody's so quick to blame the bad on some Satan, devil, Beelzebub, Bel figure, right? There's always like somebody to blame.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up, Mark?
He's got you, dude.
He's got you in
his greatest deceit is to make you
think
that he doesn't even exist. Dude, he's got you right now chained. Keep going. I'm just.
That's all I got, man. That's all.
No, but it is refreshing because it's just like, hey, it was like the other thing with the reason in the mind. It's like, well, why doesn't everybody get it? Because they haven't thought hard enough for it.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everybody see God? Why? Because guess what? They're looking right past him. No, they're looking right past him.
Yeah.
What's the saying? The forest. They're missing the forest for the trees.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, I do appreciate that too because it's like there's not some evil guy going around. Yes, and he's sharpening his pitchfork. But I mean, at least in the Hermetic or whatever, I'm gonna get him, because it's just part of life, and guess what? It can be overcome. You don't need to, and it doesn't. It's not gonna help to. Guess what? So your sufferings, your pains, the devil making you do it.
Yeah.
Those things
aren't. Out.
Yeah.
Get those out.
Well, you can't point to something else. So actually, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. That text was actually a little bit better than I previously thought.
Well, there was something in it.
There was some gems in there.
But okay, so so those are the two. Do you want to stop?
We're gonna have a 2-hour episode if we don't stop. So
we'll stop this one. And
we'll do the next one, which is.
I think there'll be plenty to talk about for at least 30, 40 minutes.
You know, it's only the next.
This is so funny. This is the shortest of all. It's one page. Like if
we're gonna do this one right here.
It's like 2 paragraphs.
But the greatest evil
in
mankind is ignorance concerning God.
Okay, so anyway, we're wrapping this one up. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be moving on to the next one.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.